Welcome back, everyone. Tonight we're going to be going over something special. I just got these in. This is my two heroes for the Anakin Starkiller FX run that he just started shipping out. This is a project he started late last year. The last few years, he's been getting a ton of questions about doing another hero run. The last one he did was a static run a few years back. This is his first FX run with a hero, and I got to tell you, so far, pretty impressed. I was really happy to get on this because I also I loved Anakin Starkiller's his V2 that he did from 2 years ago, and I know that I was one of the people that was bugging him to please do a hero run. So when he finally announced that he was going to, I was really excited about that. It took a while because I think he had a couple of projects lined up. He did a Darth Maul static hilt, and he was trying to get an OWK going, but unfortunately that I think that hit some roadblocks, unfortunately. But I was very happy when he announced that he was finally going to do this. I know there's a couple of hero runs going on simultaneously right now. This is the first one to ship out, and yes, I do have two of them, because one of the great things that Dan did is he was also able to let you design either the Yuma or the hero. So I wanted to get one of each. Now, I know that HalloX already has done a video on all the parts, and he's going to be doing a whole assembly and how to put everything together. I'm probably not going to go into that too much. I don't want to try to repeat what he's already done. He did a great job on that video. I think what I'm going to try to do is just kind of get everyone like a really nice look at the hilt itself, just to show over what design options there are, and kind of just go from there. So with that, I'm just going to kind of show off what I've done so far. Now, I'm not putting this whole thing together because in the RPF thread, we were told not to until HalloX starts doing his vids. So I'm going to kind of listen to that. The one thing I did do was, just for fun, I just wanted to put the assembly, the control box on, just to see what it was going to look like. I'm going to show that off in a second. But right now we got our little emitter here. And the emitter does come with the set screw, little grub screw that's in there. The neck, this is the thickest I've ever seen on a hero before. I've never seen one. I've never seen it this thick before. So again, I know that there's been a lot more dimensions and references that have come out in these last few years. A lot more picture references that people have been gathering, and I think that's how they've been able to tell finally the true size of this, because it's been kind of a, not a mystery, but it's definitely had some more inferences than anything else. And I'm just happy that we're finally getting a hero that has some really good measurements, because I think we finally have the size down from all the layouts or the layovers that they've shown on the different RPF threads, based on the K or the mom hero, which is the cave scene. But you can see like this neck is much thicker than what I've seen on other heroes, especially ones that have come out over the last couple of years. So I thought that was interesting to see. The cuts you can see in here, these little V cuts, you can see the little angled grooves. Okay, these are not straight. That's not a regular straight V. These actually, it's almost like an italicized V. But we have the asymmetrical rings in here. This is very, very smooth, very light, very similar to the Anakin Starkiller V2 run that he did. That was also a light one as well. Before I get to the control box, really like the pommel cubes, as HalloX actually pointed out. You can see, if you look at the angle correctly, there is a slight groove that is cut into the sides of the pommel cubes, which is accurate to the current prop. One thing here that I don't think anyone's gotten this yet, is the circular indent on the bottom of the pommel. Now, I've seen the actual like indentation, but there's another ring around that pommel cap and around the pommel itself, and that I have not seen on any other hero just yet. Nothing has been released. Even the recent Gen 2 Vader's Vault that they came out with, it has the little indentation here, which was also on the Master Replicas, but it does not have the outer ring around it. So I thought that was really cool to see. Another thing that I love about this, even that being an FX run, there was no set screw around the emitter here, this emitter cap. And this comes off here. Now, in most Luke thin necks that we've seen recently, typically it's what we have here. We have a little cup, right? So we got this little, I took it out of the other version here. So there's a little cup here for your tri-cree, or if you want your NeoPixel. But I'm going to show this off in a second, why it's important when I took this off, what I found. There are set screws in here. So this is where your blade retention would end up being on either side. There's 2 set screws. You do have to supply those yourself. I emailed Dan about that and found out that he was not supplying those. So that is up to you. I'm not sure on the size of those just yet. I'm trying to get the facts on it. I think Halowax, when he does his video, he's going to go over the parts on what it comes with and what you're going to end up needing. So I'm sure he's going to announce at that point in time. But yeah, I'll go over that in another minute. We're just very happy that we're getting a hero where we're not having a blade retention screw on the lip of the emitter over here. I mean, I know, listen, you have to have something for blade retention, right? But I get that. But on a nice Canon saber like this, on a Canon hilt, I really like it when they can hide those set screws in a place that we really can't see it. And that to me was the best option, to put it inside the threads like that. I thought that was great. Rudy Pando did that on his V3, and I thought that was a fantastic move by him. That was one of the first Luke Return of the Jedi hilts that I got, where it actually was on the inside on the threads. The Solos Hold Gen 1 V2 actually does not have that at all. Their blade retention system was an integrated, they had a threaded emitter cap, which attached itself to the blade. But the only problem with that is there actually are 2 retention screws in the emitter lip itself, on the emitter face itself, on the actual V2 prop, and they corrected that when they did their Gen 2, which was also on the Starkiller V2 as well, because they did that first. So the really great thing about this is the newly designed control box. This has so many great features to the prop that nobody else has done before. Okay. First, I like to see that if you can see the angles that are cut on this. Now, because I already have mine attached, it's probably a little bit harder to see, but there is an angle and groove that is cut here. It doesn't go straight down to the hilt. This was actually seen really well on Halowax's video, because he actually had this detached and was showing you all the parts. So I thought that was great to have that on there. And if you look here, now this was actually on the Vader's Vault hilt as well. The screws, you can see, are not entirely, it's not symmetrical. Okay, so the screw over here underneath the green acrylic is almost directly, almost underneath, whereas under the red, it's actually spaced out a little bit more. That is true to the prop. I was happy to see that that's been incorporated into the Vader's Vault hilt, and that also Dan put this in as well, because that's a great little detail to put in. This does not attach anywhere from down here. This is all one single piece, as well as the top. Okay, so here we go. Plenty of room for a nice crystal chamber, which I'm sure Goth is going to be doing at some point in time. The other really nice thing about this control box is if you can look down here and you can see, now I went ahead and I put the Sloth Furnace card on. I've already had these in waiting because I knew I was getting these in at some point. Obviously the copper rail, or the brass rail, I guess. So these little L cuts here, these go on top of the box like that, okay? There's plenty of room. You get one big strip of this. There's plenty of space in here to make 2, and hopefully it'll leave a little bit of room for error. So, but you know, measure twice, cut once. But I just wanted to see what it looked like with the card inside. All right, so I can slide this out. Now here's the 3D printed box. Okay, so this was a genius idea to slip inside, so that you'd have space to put something in here, so still put electronics in the control box while making this accurate to the prop. So in here you can see that there's 2 screws that hold the box down into the hilt itself. And then there's space in here as well to put your LEDs in, as well as the 2 switches, which Dan did supply. You get 2 momentary switches to go inside the holes there for your black boxes here, your buttons. All right, so those would go underneath. That's a terrible angle, I apologize. Okay, so going here and here. I was trying to set up the whole control box beforehand, but the switches really weren't staying, and I do not want to glue anything just yet. So I said, no, I'm going to just wait on that, and we'll just talk about it. But as you can see, there is space right there for all your wires to go through if you are going to make this in FX. And I'm just going to keep sliding the card over here because I think this looks really cool. Now, the 3D printed box, it comes just like this, okay, when the part comes out. The one thing I'm going to tell you is that this does need sanding, because when I first put this in, it was really, really tight. And when I did that, I was like, oh crap, how am I getting this thing out? I was able to wiggle it out. It took a little bit of finesse and a little bit of force, but I was able to get it out without breaking it, thank goodness, because I'm pretty sure this has to get painted. I think it's like a gray, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's like a gray rail that's underneath the brass top. But I also, if you look at this here, you can see that there is a gap between the card and the control box. That is accurate to the prop, like 100%. This is really great first hilt that actually is portraying this. That's out right now, so I'm really happy that they did this. No other hilt, to my knowledge, has done that so far. I know the mom hero that's coming out right now by that Brian and Adam are doing in conjunction with 7 Chambers. They've got a whole build thread that their hero is going to be very, very similar, with probably some minor detail. I don't know which details are going to be changed. I have to wait till that comes out, but they have a great build thread as well on theirs. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I know that theirs has the same feature as well. But this was amazing to get this in there, because this is 100% accurate. Because the electronics inside, when they did the cave scene, you had the lights that kind of went back and forth, and you had this fake little circuit board that was in here. So my decision, I still don't know if I'm going to make this an FX hilt or not. I might just make this a static hilt. The only thing I am thinking about doing is making the control box functional, just so that the arrows light up. I think that would be a lot of fun, because I'm never going to duel with this thing. So to me to build it out completely, I don't know about that. I think once I end up painting it and putting and so then securing the control box and getting everything appropriate to what's on screen, I think this is going to end up being on the shelf for me. But I really, really like a lot of these features so far. The other thing here, there's a solid pommel cap. Good amount of threads. This actually has a nice weight to it, actually, because it is solid. And I'm not going to put the FX one on, but I will show it to you. All right. This is really cool. This is exactly how it came. So Dan put the FX emitter on with the FX cap. All right, it's a nice little logo that he's got going on now. And then your cap, your threaded cap here, same exact thing. Just take one off, replace for the other. I thought that was a nice little design he's got going on. Some of the other pieces that do come with this, so like I said, you have, I'll show it off here, I guess. So here's your Yuma control box, okay? Just the screws that are going in here, and a nice little lever that ends up just kind of sliding in this hole. Now, as of right now, there's nothing holding these screws down, so these things will fall right out if I don't keep pressure on them. I'm going to go over the Yuma style in just a second. The other things that come with this is you do get these 2 acrylic arrows. These guys are nice and tiny. So you get this whole bag with the kit, okay? It's basically going to come like this, and everything's in it. When you open that up, be careful that nothing spills out, because there are some tiny screws for the control box, as well as these little tiny acrylic, the green and red arrows here. Be very careful because these things can fly out and go all over the place, and then you're going to be emailing Dan to send you new parts. There are 2 clear LED lights in here as well to go inside the control box to light up the arrows, as well as your tri-ring. Now the tri-ring, when I got it, was fused. I've already cut it, and I just have to get this on. I'm going to be honest, I actually already tried to get this on, and it's a real tight fit. So I kind of I've stopped, and I'm going to wait and see what happens with Halox in his video. Usually the tri-rings or D-rings kind of just slide right in, but this guy was really tight, so I got to see what the solution is going to be for that. Okay, so again, really happy with how the hero itself came out. I think this is a great looking hilt. Very smooth along the pommel cubes, along, no machining marks that I can see. Yeah, this thing I'm pretty happy with. Now, if you are going to be making this FX, you have the option of going with obviously your tri-crease. And the one nice thing about this, now again, I took the cup out of here. Okay, so this is right then and there. You can slide your NeoPixel in. You can get a little adapter in there, your little like a 3D printed holder for the PCB. Slide that right in there. That to me is great, because normally what's happening nowadays is that these cups go in, and usually it's a longer thread, and it secures the emitter into the neck. And you usually have to kind of you'd have to machine this down, or come up with another solution in order to get a NeoPixel, or what you'd have to do is a recessed PCB in the blade so that it slides over. So currently, like if I kept this one out, whoops, okay, good thing it's a soft surface. So you can see here, right there, okay, that little lip that's around that. So the blade's going to go over that, and the recessed PCB would be up into the blade, whatever the depth is of the cup. Okay, and then you would slide that over and then secure it with your set screws. But this solution, to me, this was a great solution. This is all one piece. Okay, I haven't seen that in a while, because typically it's like I said before, the cup is kind of securing the neck or the emitter into the neck, and this is not. This is one piece. So to me, that's solid. That's great. I tried unscrewing this. I cannot. So if if I'm wrong, please somebody tell me. But I have tried over and over again to try to open this up, and this is not turning. So this is all one piece, and I'm very happy with that. I think that makes this stronger in here too. If you were going to do some type of dueling with this, I don't ever plan on doing that, but you can. I think these are. You could probably do some light sparring with these. I'll let Dan answer that question. I'm not going to speak for him. But these do feel very well made, and I'm really happy with that NeoPixel solution, because I know that's been an issue right now with some of the Luke thin necks that have been coming out, the do-it-yourself versions, where you've got a threaded cup inside the emitter holding it in. And people have been trying to come up with these 3D printed solutions, and they've worked. There's some really good videos out there on some people doing it. I have to find some solutions myself on a couple of those hilts that I have right now, but I am happy to see that people are making some great progress with that. Okay, yeah. So for the Yuma, the control box is slightly different. Okay, this little lever here basically is just pressured through, and what's going to end up happening is there is a 3D printed box that Dan just put out on the RPF thread, okay, on his hero thread. So if you haven't seen it yet, go over to that thread, and he's already placed a link that takes you right to Shapeways to purchase the part. It's a $5 printed piece. It's small, it looks like, and it kind of just goes into here. I guess because these screws here do not match up with those screws there. Okay, so there's a box that you screw into here first, and then this sits on top. I'm going to be very interested to see the people that make an FX out of this Yuma, because the only thing that I can think of right now is that these screws are not going to stay in, and these are going to basically kind of, I would say, probably more or less glue down to the momentary switches, and then you would just push these in order to get that to go. That's my thought. I don't know if that's exactly what's going to happen or not. And I'll let the people that are building this figure that one out. But it's kind of cool. For some people that don't really know, they just you just know of the hero. You might not know its history. From what I've been reading and the theories that have been put out there, what they've theorized is that, if I'm not mistaken, when they started filming and they ended up making the hero, I think the Yuma was the first iteration of the hero. So you had the Yuma first, and then you ended up having, then they kind of remodeled it into I see you have constructed a new lightsaber scene, and then finally we get the cave scene, or the mom hero at the end. This was all based on a shooting schedule, if I'm not mistaken. And you can go in the RPF. I believe even Seth's, his lightsaber book that he has out, that his guide that he has, which kind of goes through the history of all the lightsabers. I think it talks about this as well, but that's the theory. I don't know if it is 100% confirmed, so please don't quote me on that. But that's what I've been gathering over the last few years from doing all the research and reading with these guys. But it's just really cool to see the iterations of it, and to have that, because I'll have a Yuma from Dan, I'll have a mom or a cave from Dan. I'm going to have his V2, as well as I have the Vader's Vault, which is based on the I see you have constructed a new lightsaber scene. So I'll kind of have like all the different versions, which is great. I have a V3, and from Rudy Pando, which I'm installing right now. So I'll have all those different Return of the Jedi iterations. So I'm pretty happy about that. I want to get a nice little display stand to have them all on one. But for those that are waiting on these hilts that are coming in, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I think you're going to be really excited for this. I know that Halox, when he put out his video, there was a message, or there was a post later on the RPF saying that he and Dan, I think, are getting together this weekend, and they're probably going to start looking to do an assembly video together. So I think look out for that. Oh, the paint, okay, because you have to paint this, right? So for the copper look of this neck, the paint that has been discussed around the RPF is an antique gold. And if you're in the US, you can get that from Ace Hardware. They have a website, which I believe you can order it from them. If you live near one of the stores, by all means, stop in. The store that I went to was actually sold out, so I had to order it online. And if you're in if you're abroad or international, I'm sorry, I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm sure if you talk to some other guys that deal with this on a regular basis, I'm sure they'll give you some answers or point you in the right direction. But yeah, antique gold is the color that you're looking for. And then, of course, a nice black in here for the grips. I am looking forward to painting this up and getting this done. I'm really thinking I'm going to keep these static. I don't really think I want to do electronics with this. I think the Yuma 100% will be static. Because to me, with the control box, there's nothing here that lights up or does anything for me. So I think I am just going to kind of paint this up to the colors that I want, and kind of just leave it. Halox said he's got something special planned for the Yuma. Some details that people haven't known about until just recently, that he's coming to some information. So I'm actually really interested to see what that is. I don't know if that's a painting scheme or other details that's going on with this, but he's going to break that down soon enough when he does his video. So I look forward to that. I highly recommend, if you are doing either the Yuma or you're doing the hero version, please wait and see what Halox is doing for the build, or at least wait for like a build thread to come out so you can kind of see how to put everything together correctly if you're unsure. So yeah, guys, overall, I think these were worth the wait. I'll be honest, this was kind of a fast turnaround. I think when Dan finally started putting these out, he got a prototype back in I don't know, November, December, somewhere around there, and then finally started getting ready to get on the the buy list, and once he put the order out, and then eventually, finally got all the parts in, and I'm just happy that everything looks good. But yeah, this was not really a long wait at all. I mean, I know sometimes you wait on these runs for like a year from concept to production to finally receiving the thing, but this was a nice turnaround for once. This actually went kind of quick. I mean, overall, I mean, he's been planning this for I think a couple of years, so for him it was probably longer. But once he finally announced the run, to me it was a quick turnaround. But yeah, guys, I mean, overall, again, I really like what they've done. Just the details on the control box still astound me. This is still amazing. The level of detail that they're finally getting on this hero that we have not seen before. So yeah, I really like that. I know that I know the run is over. So if you are interested in getting a hero, you like this, just keep an eye out on the Facebook pages or on the RPF or Rebel Armory, one of those. I'm sure at some point in time things come up, things happen. Some people might have to sell theirs off. If they do, try to jump on it as soon as you can, because I got a feeling that these are going to go quick. Everyone's going to want one of these. So again, yeah, guys, I'm pretty excited to have this. I really can't wait to see the build videos to get this thing going. And I think within the next couple of months, we're going to have another hero coming out. I think the Brian Rogers, Adam, and the Seven Chambers mom hero that they've got going should be coming out soon. I think this is, again, this is going to be the new version of the Ultimate Hero from Seven Chambers, and he's let it seems that that Lewis has let Brian and Adam kind of like really take the reins on this, because their guys, go check out that research thread, because it is fantastic. They got a great build log and a build thread going. A lot of great information in there. If you like the hero and you kind of want to learn more about it, there's a lot of knowledge over there. So I am looking forward to getting that one in as well. It's just been raining heroes lately between the new Vader's Vault, the Anakin Starkiller, and then the new Seven Chambers run that's going to be coming out. I did have a video on that prior to, so I'll be happy to, when I get the new one in, of course, do an initial review on that. I won't have the Seven Chambers one, the original one, anymore, because I have to send that back, because that was a pre-order. So in order to get their new hilt, I had to send mine back in order to get the trade in, which I think is great. But keep reading up, guys. Keep checking out the Facebook pages. I'm sure you're going to start seeing a lot of these start to get painted within the next couple of weeks. I know as of right now, there's no chassis. I got a feeling that's going to change soon enough. I'm looking at it's funny, because now it's not even just Goth that's putting these out anymore. I mean, he's putting out a lot of the elaborate ones, but you have other people too that are just making just a basic chassis that's going to hold you a battery, a board, and a speaker, and a recharge port, and maybe a kill switch. And once those start popping up, I'm sure you're going to start seeing these fully functional soon enough. But yeah, guys, with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I look forward to getting these going. I'll send up, once these are painted and finished, I'll definitely be posting some pictures up on some of the sites. But guys, until then, if you have any questions, as always, guys, leave them down below. I hope everything goes well with your builds. Best of luck, guys. Take care.